All right, how's it going today? Happy Sunday. I'm Castillo Trading coming to you with another live stream. Now, I am going to be out of town next week, so the video series is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be coming out with a live stream tomorrow, but I am going to consistently be sending you guys updates throughout the week. As always, like I go on vacation, I take my computer and I'm there for you guys, sending you guys updates. Shout out to the stream sponsor as well over at BitGet Global. They are the perpetual exchange of choice over at Trade with Castillo. So if you guys have any questions with them, concerns with them, please let me know and we can kind of get those ironed out. If you guys have not joined my website, tradewithcastillo.com, go ahead and join. Everybody that's watching these VIP live streams is a VIP member, so you guys will have access to this. You just have to go in and register. And this is where you're gonna find all my content, right? Like I have live streams right here, previous live streams, and then previous VIP, NPOC, daily POC updates, along with breakdown segments, sin quote trading options. A lot of content here for you guys to kind of go over and learn from. So first things first, NPOC levels, guys. We do have two within range. We have one at 37409 and one at 34457. So there's definitely different ways that we can tackle this, right? We did create some setups over for you guys in the Telegram. We do have our long, we do have our short. As of right now, I think that it's kind of sitting on your hands, you know, to not overtrade this sort of price action, but also to kind of be ready when price action does start to move a little bit. And that's currently what we're looking at. So there's really not much to overcomplicate when it comes to BTC. I think that a lot of people are kind of fleeing to altcoins to kind of catch the pump. And it's just hard because Bitcoin will have a little bit of downside. We won't lose the structure, but then Ethereum and altcoin will kind of bleed out. And that's currently the situation. But again, guys, that's good, right? We want BTC to hold its highs. We want Ethereum to hold its highs, kind of stick around here. And yeah, we have seen some rejections, but you guys got to understand this is not a straight run. We had a rejection here. We had another one here. A lot of this stuff is low-term time frame noise. And that's kind of why I've been out, or have not been focusing too much on the technicals, is because a lot of the work has already been done by us, guys. So let's just look and see potentially, you know, BTC, it is a hard long here. Obviously, if you're longing this, you're basically planning for resistance to break for a higher move. And again, for me, that's just not really the way that I particularly like to trade. I like to have a little bit of a setup. And again, the next area of interest for me as a long is down at 34457. Now, are we going to get it? I don't know. I think that the strength continues to push us up here and we retest 40K heading into next week and potentially into next month. So we will continue to monitor and see how that unfolds. But yeah, you know, we do have some NPOC levels higher. And I think that's something that we need to consider as well. We do have some prints to the downside within range, but that does not mean that we ignore the current trend of what is happening. BTC has continued to push higher and we're going to continue to think that it push higher until structure is lost. We do have this low-term time frame support that we will talk about in a little bit, and this is really the main structure that I'm focusing on. But yeah, for now we do have NPOCs higher. You know, we do have NPOCs all the way up to 45K and also 50K as well, so we do have to consider those a possible move. So again, nothing too interesting for me. I think there's a lot of people that would love this 30K retest. Me personally, I would love the 30K retest. It makes a lot of sense as far as that being resistance for a decent amount of time, but I am just not sure that we're going to get it. I think that a lot of sideline people are kind of waiting for that 30K retest, and I'm just not sure if we're going to get it. A squeeze higher to kind of get people off sides and then kind of have them FOMO in, piling in to reach that 50K just makes the most sense to me. So currently not really looking to enter into BTC until one of our setups gives us an opportunity, right? And then even the short setup, right? You do have to take this with a grain of salt because it is resistance, but you have to understand how strong the trend is, right? And it's just something that we've talked about here too, just like in our previous current range, right? We had highs, we had lows, we rejected once, we rejected a couple times here, but then this third time was really, you know, I did try and short this, but it was a very, very quick stop once we were looking at low-term time frames and we could see, you know, it took a small loss on it. But again, it's just that risk reward shorting at upper limit. And we do have to continue to keep that in mind. If we do retest this upper limit on this low-term time frame, we do have to consider a breakout because it has continued to hold median ML support and it has continued to stay in that upwards trend. BTC and Ethereum are great, but I think that it's truly time for us to kind of focus on altcoins, micro caps. That sort of thing is where this part of the cycle is, as BTC and Ethereum are starting to get delayed at the highs, which again is good. Ideally, BTC and Ethereum hold their highs, altcoins, micro caps kind of catch up, and then we have one more leg higher. That one more leg higher might put Ethereum and altcoins down in the red again, but again, it doesn't really matter, right? Because as long as everything is continuing to trend higher, it's sharpening those skill sets that we talked about, guys. I take this from Loma because Loma posted a great video on Twitter about about it, and he was like, you have to sharpen the skill sets that are necessary in a bull market, right? So the necessary skill sets in a bull market are taking that downside and not closing positions, being red on a day and not closing because you know that the upside is more potential, or even have a ton of unrealized gains and then shaving a couple off, but still leaving more on the table so that you can maximize that ROI, because that is how you make in these crazy run-ups, guys. You may have $1,500 in profit, but at the end of the day, that $1,500 could turn into 10, 15, 20K, depending on what part of the cycle we are. Now, this doesn't mean to jump into lagging altcoins with all your portfolio and try and ride it. There still is structure to all this. There still is, kind of having those game plans. And again, we'll get into that when we go into some altcoins. Now going to just jump into Ethereum, guys. We do have a new NPOC print. We can kind of map this out for you guys. Right around 2006. That is our next area of interest for a potential short. Again, I don't know how I'm going to trade this again. I mean, I'll tell you how I'm going to trade this. I'm not really going to trade it. I'm not going to be focused on Ethereum or Bitcoin too much as far as trading goes the next couple weeks. So let's see the short that we had. Yeah, it's still the same short, right? We created this again on Friday and it's still the same thing. 2006. If we get a retest of 2006, I want to look in the low term time frames, level 2, and see kind of how that is reacting. So we got some sandwich trading up for you guys, low term time frames. Once we do start to head into that 2006 NPOC level, I will jump into tools like this, right? Go down to the 5-minute and kind of just see where that volume flow is, how heavy, where the bids are, where the sells are, and kind of just see where we're going on the low term time frame momentum. That's kind of why I bring this and send it to you guys a lot, is because we have areas of interest, right? Like 2006 NPOC level on ETH for short is an area of interest. It's not an automatic short, because there's no reason that you should have automatic entries unless you're away from the computer, that sort of thing. But if you're sitting at the computer, there's no real need. You have levels of interest, and then you zoom in to a little bit lower term time frames, see what's kind of going on. This is the way that you can see the market kind of breathe a little bit, right? So this is why I was having so much trouble finding an alternate to Crypto Watch, and again, sandwich trading has been able to provide that, and I do love this platform. I use it every single day. No affiliation whatsoever. Met the CEO in Singapore, so just a user of something that I truly use. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm going to look at playing Ethereum. Zoom in at 2006 and see what the price action kind of looks like. So that's the short entry. We have the long entry as well. It's at 1839. We created this earlier in this month, but again, it's still 1839 and 1796. A lot is getting front run. A lot of people are talking about buying the dips, but then when the dips happen, they think they're going to go lower, so they miss out on the dip. A way that you can avoid this is if you just take smaller position size, starter positions. Let's just say you have a $1,000 portfolio and you get a dip. Well, then maybe buy $100, and then you get another dip. Well, then maybe buy another $100, and then you get a third dip. Well, then maybe buy $300, and now your dollar cost average is lower, and then you can kind of take into the other direction. Stay level headed during your trading. That's like the biggest thing. I will say that ETH has offered a very clean range as well based off NPOC prints. We had a 1921 NPOC print down here, and look at how amazing this has reacted. Such clean support. The first one was a massive move higher. Second one continues to act as support. So again, this is why we think Ethereum is at support. A lot of people have been looking for lower on Ethereum, but again, it's just not happening. That 1921 NPOC was a great entry. Hope you guys got it. 2096 was the short entry, and man, was this a damn good short entry. I did not short this. Some people caught it more. I saw more people shorting altcoins on Twitter, that sort of thing, but this was a great short entry as well on Ethereum, that 2096 NPOC. So these are just great examples of why I love NPOC pivots. This has been a great pivot to capitalize on, and these two have been great pivots to capitalize on as far as NPOC levels. So that's why they're so important to me. I am going to get rid of these for now, just because I did want to use this for a good example as well, for like how well price action can respect some of these NPOC levels. But yeah, I think we have our short, we have our long, and there is no real reason to overthink that on Ethereum. So this is the setup that we're currently watching for on NPOC levels. Doge, I think, is a good one to be focusing on, just because I think this one can really pop off at any moment with Elon behind it. I think a lot of people are speculating that some satellite is going to be called the Doge 1. I saw that there was like a Wikipedia with SpaceX, and that's what they were going to name it. I don't really know. And then obviously on Twitter, he has XD, and the D is in the Doge symbol. So this might be one of like the most obvious fucking hindsight plays that we have ever had when it's all said and done. And so again, I do think that some sort of exposure to Doge is pretty key at some points, but you will probably have to hold through some red. And that, again, just think about everything that has kind of happened over the course of the last week and a half, right? BTC, Ethereum kind of stalling at highs, altcoins kind of giving back a little bit. That's probably going to be what happens for the entirety of a bull run, right? Because if you think about it, bull runs happen and nobody gets in. That's how they happen. Squeezes, people are shorting, and this just seems like one of those moments to me. It really, really does. It just seems like a lot of people are sidelining and waiting for just too much downside. I don't think it's going to happen. And Doge, I think, is one of those ones, if you can get a position in the 7s, maybe the 6s, if you're lucky to just kind of sit on those, maybe go spot and hold it, maybe go low leverage, depending on what you want to do. But like I said, I do think that this could potentially be one of the most obvious hindsight plays of our lifetime right now with Elon and everything kind of going on with it. So get a little bit of exposure to Doge, not a lot. You don't have to go high leverage, high position size, but get a little something. And this thing could run to a fucking dollar, as that's what everybody wanted last time, right? Last cycle, everybody was like $1, $1. Didn't happen. I think it's possible this cycle if you just look at how much red has happened. 99-cent Doge, you heard it here first, baby. Actually, a lot of people are kind of calling it, so not just me. Again, I appreciate all you guys joining and being in the Trade with Castillo Telegram. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Telegram or Twitter or x.com. My DMs are open on both of those. Again, don't be hitting me with questions about like stop loss, this, that. If you guys have a question about anything that I'm doing, anything as far as your trading, maybe you're in a situation that you're not sure how to get out of, you can always message me and ask for advice, that sort of thing. So thank you all for joining. I appreciate you guys in the stream, and I'll see you guys in the Telegram. Peace.